Yeah, that's fine. Do whatever you want.
Testing, testing.
Mm,
Testing,
mm,
testing. There we go.
mm.
Okay. Awesome. So we are, that's it. We're here, man.
Oh
Uh,
shit.
welcome in. So this is the Viva La Vega podcast, and we have a real special guest here, MKUltrahh. Um, yeah. So just wanted to, did you want to introduce yourself, kind of what you do, kind of
Okay.
your streams and stuff?
MK Ultra variety streamer. Mainly stream some Dead by Daylight right now, but just try to do a whole lot of community games and basically just play games with my friends for the most part.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I noticed on your stream that like attracted me to staying and hanging out more was
Mm,
it just felt like kind of back in the day when you'd go over a friend's house and you all just like
mhm.
play a game and like chill
Yes,
and bullshit with each other and stuff. And a lot of the
that's
times I see in streams it's like I'm the streamer. I'm the focus of everything. Everyone needs to kind of like keep their eyes on me. But you have
mhm.
a community that is just like chilling with you.
Yeah, and most of the times they're better than me at the game too, so I like to just watch them and do their thing. You know.
Yeah, yeah. It seems like every time I pop into one of your streams, it's like you're always like, all right, who's doing customs? Who's next in line? Who's coming in? Here's the code. We're doing,
Yeah,
all the party games, Fall Guys, Among Us, all that kind of stuff.
I feel like a lot of streamers like to play games that like they're good at or that they like, and I kind of just like to play
Mhm.
games that my community enjoys.
Yeah, yeah.
Because yeah, I almost never play my favorite game. So
Right. Which you talked about in one of your most recent streams.
yeah, Madden. Madden
Yeah,
is actually
yep.
my favorite game, and I never play sports games on stream.
Right.
Closest is like UFC.
Sure, sure. Well, I mean, I can imagine UFC on your streams are probably wild.
Yeah, those are a lot of fun. A lot of
Everyone
shit talking.
probably gets into it.
Facts.
Yeah, dude. So, as far as starting to stream, when did that idea
Mhm.
come about?
Um, the idea came about maybe like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
Hmm.
It was actually I was with my ex girlfriend. We used to both play a lot of video games, and we were like, might as well stream it because why not? It was
Hmm.
actually more so for her because I wasn't comfortable on camera, but here we are.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha. So you just decided to make a Twitch account and you're kind
yeah.
of halvesies on
Started.
it.
Yeah, basically, and
Hmm.
met one of my longtime viewers, the very first stream on Brawlhalla,
Hmm.
and we just kept switching games until something hit. And the first one I believe to hit for real was Multiverses, and then
Sure.
DBD
Yeah.
is my home now.
When
Yeah,
that beta came out, right?
that was insane. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
That
I
was a lot of
remember.
fun.
Yeah, that beta was like a big deal. Everyone's like, what, WB's dropping a game all of a sudden. It got a lot of attention.
To compete with.
Unfortunately, you don't see a
hmm
lot of it now.
No, they're actually shutting it down this month.
Oh
Well,
no
the beta.
way.
They're gonna officially launch it like the
Oh,
beginning
okay,
of next
gotcha,
year,
gotcha.
in like February, I believe. I think. So yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, because I remember you to get the beta, you had to get like a code or something, right? To first
Oh,
hop
yes,
on.
yes, yes. At first, when
Yeah.
it first dropped, you need like a yeah.
Uh-huh. And now it's
I
just
do
kind of
remember
posted around somewhere.
that.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, really interesting stuff. It seemed like a weird game to drop out of nowhere, but there's
Yeah,
not many other games kind of like that brawler,
Smash
style
Bros. Really.
except Smash Bros. Yeah, that's kind of they got the market share on everything.
hmm
So it is good to see another game that's kind of coming into the scope
Yeah.
like that.
Nickelodeon tried real quick, and that game was terrible. That
Oh,
Nickelodeon All
I
Stars or
vaguely
something.
remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yeah, yeah.
was not memorable.
Yeah, it seemed like a game that you would play like on their website, like
hmm
as a browser game or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so sorry, I just had to do one thing here. Yeah. So
I'm good.
so yeah, that's been a really interesting thing. So uh what was it? Multiverses, it hit. And
Mhm.
when did you start streaming to an audience? Like how long into starting to stream did you actually get a consistent audience in?
Um, Early on, I would get people into Fort Customs, maybe like 5 or 6. But honestly, it took well, I didn't get affiliated till about 6 months in.
Hmm.
It took me a while, and then honestly, my first week on Multiverses was pretty good because my very first day on Multiverses, I just sat there for like 6 hours, and I'm fresh off of Brawlhalla, so I thought I was just like the man. So I just
Yeah,
just talking a
yeah.
whole bunch of shit. And I sat there and I got a whole bunch of people day one on Multiverses because I started playing it really early into it, so people were like looking for streamers to play it to see like what it was like. So it was kind of a timing thing,
Hmm.
like a perfect storm kind of deal.
Right, right. Got in early on a game that had a
Yeah,
lot of hype behind it. You just
and
kind
that
of
was about 6 7 months ago. So
right,
yeah,
right. Yeah, no, that's really cool. I think
yeah.
a lot of like when you look at the Twitch landscape, I never
Hmm.
really paid attention to this before I started streaming, but now
Hmm.
I kind of see it from the other side and I'm looking through to see like, okay, well, I'm interested in this game here.
Uh,
What's the viewer count? What are, how many people are following the game? If I
yeah,
were to stream here, what position would I be placed? I start looking at these kind of details, and you notice really quick that almost like 99% of people on Twitch are streaming to absolutely nobody.
yeah, yeah,
And I'm sure for some people that can be very disheartening, when you're going for 6 months and it's still just
yeah,
like you are that one viewer.
yeah.
um
It makes you appreciate shit though. Like I remember,
yeah.
I would have to call and like text people just so I could have like the three to make a freaking affiliate.
Right, right. Yeah, you got bot accounts watching your stream
Especially,
with you.
yeah, basically, like I have to beg them and shit. Like,
Right. Well, and that's just an aspect of kind of like putting in the footwork to
yeah,
get it done,
yeah,
um
that's true.
yeah. That's do you do any like you weren't really on social media a whole bunch as far as your stream, right? Not that I've
Not
seen.
not at all. I made a
Yeah.
TikTok, but I haven't done anything with it.
I, yeah, I went on your TikTok, I followed you, and I'm like, you ain't got shit on here.
Nothing, nothing at all. I'm really bad when it comes to shit like that. Like I don't really pay attention to my personal social media, but I'm trying to
Yeah,
get better. Well,
it's
I've said I'm gonna get better. I haven't done anything yet.
I'm in very much the same boat. It's like I know the importance if I want to kind of grow a community and do what I'm doing,
Hmm.
probably not for a living, but just to
Hmm.
like, having a community makes it a lot more fun.
Yeah,
The
for
streams
sure.
where I have, 8 to sometimes 10 people,
Hmm.
those streams are so much better and it makes me enjoy what I'm doing a lot more than just
No,
sitting
facts,
here,
facts.
playing a game by myself.
Hmm.
And it helps curate that idea of, we're just hanging out playing games with our friends. Um,
Yeah, facts. It gives you that couch party feeling.
yeah, 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 for sure. Well, especially when you're doing like party games,
Yeah.
Jackbox and things like that.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. So how did what were some things that you did to kind of keep growing that number? Did it just kind of slowly, happen, or did you actually put in some work, go hang out with other streamers and stuff like
Oh,
that?
definitely had to network. Honestly,
Hmm.
most of it after like numbers attract numbers, kind of.
Right,
So a
right.
lot of it did happen naturally, but because now most of my networking that I do now, I feel like is within my community, like
Hmm.
supporting like my family, whatever. But I definitely did do a lot of networking, going out there, trying to meet a lot of new people. Oftentimes that didn't stick.
Hmm.
So it kind of feels like just organically growing is the way to do it. But I have met some good people through just networking. Like Mango is a really
Yeah,
good
yeah,
friend of mine that I've met through just networking.
for sure, for sure.
I'm looking through my list right now, and yeah, mostly all these people I got organically, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess organic works over like the actual like
Right, like
network
like like
things.
like like putting ad money into targeted Facebook ads and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've
um,
thought about that because they're actually not too expensive, but
oh,
I
there's
don't know.
advertising so cheap.
Yeah,
It's almost criminal. Like
yeah, and
when
I'm
you actually start breaking down the numbers.
yeah, but maybe I'm trying to do TikTok and clips because I have a ton of clips, and might as
Mhm.
well try to do something with them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and TikTok, even now, even though it's a little, it's a little. Some people would say it's late as far as to the point where like TikTok 2 years ago, you can post absolutely nothing on there and get a million views on it.
Yeah.
Now it's a little more competitive, but
Mhm.
the likelihood of something going viral on
Mhm.
TikTok is still very much like it's still viable.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Okay.
you know what I mean? Um, that's one thing I struggle because like I don't know, I basically stopped using personal social media for the most part. Like it
It's
just
annoying.
doesn't. Yeah,
It's annoying.
yeah. I'm not gonna sit here and doom scroll before bed and stuff like that.
So
So that's definitely it's a challenge that I'm working on as well. Um, and then learning how to edit videos, how because like on TikTok they have like a specific format where you got kind of like the blurred gameplay in the background and then the
mhm.
face cam up top kind of thing.
Mhm.
Like learning how to do those kind of edits, weirdly enough, helps out a whole bunch. Most popular TikTok I have, I only have like 6 clips on there, but I think it got like 200 views, and I just like it's like a Overwatch, you know, game, not even like a play of the game or anything, just like
Okay.
Ramachu
Okay.
was
Okay.
chasing me or something like that. Um,
I don't know how to do any of that stuff. I need to learn.
yeah, well, it makes me personally, I hate editing.
Mm.
It's so annoying. I wish I could just hire someone to do it for me, and I just send them the 4-hour streams and they clip it out, but that shit costs money.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure, man.
that's why I need to
Um,
learn to do it.
yeah, I feel like it's a good skill. Um, you
Definitely.
know, now do you plan on kind of like what are your goals with streaming at this point? You got a pretty good community. Everyone's so active. I've never seen a community as active as yours. Do you plan on
Thank
kind of
you.
continuing to grow, or what are you kind of
Yeah,
feeling for that?
the goal would definitely to be a full-time streamer.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I kind of feel like I need to start learning the social media stuff, like the TikTok, the
Mm-hmm.
whatever, posting
Yeah,
clips
yeah.
of different, avenues and shit. Because I do want to do it full time. Like that would I I went to school, got my degree. Like I hate that 9 to 5 life. I've done it for years. I don't care
It's
for it.
mm-hmm.
Like I started my own business a couple years ago. It was going pretty well. Tried to hire friends. That didn't go so well.
Mm.
And now, but like basically, I've just gone through. I'm old enough where I realize like what works for me, what doesn't,
Yeah, yeah.
and like entrepreneurship, like hustling, that works for me. Like so,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
Twitch, I would love to be a full time Twitch streamer. I don't like working 9 to 5. I don't like being micromanaged. I don't like having
Mm-hmm.
someone over me. So
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one thing that I think the sooner you learn, the easier it gets to kind of make those transitions.
yeah,
As far as understanding a 9 to 5 isn't necessarily safe,
yeah,
and like of course entrepreneurship isn't safe either, but at
mm-hmm.
least with doing something on your own, there's that
Mm-hmm.
level of you have control over how much work gets done. If work needs to
Exactly,
get done, that's on you. It's not dictated by someone else.
exactly,
It's a
exactly.
it's a very New York idea too. Just like I gotta go out, I gotta hit the streets, I gotta hustle, I gotta
Yeah,
do what I need to do. um
exactly.
yeah. Do you think that do you think like growing up you've always had that kind of idea of like I want to make something on my own, you know what I mean?
No. I honestly, growing up, I had really good grades growing up,
Hmm.
and my parents would always like reward me for having good grades. So I kind of didn't really know how the world works. I kind of just thought if I kept doing good in school, like the money would just come.
Yeah.
So I had no
Yeah.
concept of the real world at all. So that was
Right,
kind of
right.
shocking after school when it was like, no, you have to work now.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, how old are you if you don't mind me
I'm
asking?
30. I'm
Thir
30.
32?
No, 30.
Oh, 30. Gotcha. Oh, you're not that much older than I am. Um, what's it? Yeah, I remember growing up, there's always this idea like you get good grades and then you go to college and then after college you just make money. And
Exactly.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
I did a semester of community college with a Pell Grant and I was like,
Hmm.
nah, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
I went straight to working after that, which kind of I guess saved me like $100,000 in student loan debt and whatever.
Yeah. I should have just went
Um,
straight to working.
yeah, well, it's a weird thing when everyone in your life tells you like, "Oh no, this is how it works. This is how it always
Hmm.
works."
Hmm.
And then you get to that point and you're like, "Oh, sweet, I got my bachelor's degree." Right? And then it's like,
Like,
"Oh, so does
so,
everyone else."
yeah.
So now just to stand out, you have to have a master's.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I'm okay on that.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, and you mentioned like learning that you wanted to like when did you learn that okay, job it's not my thing, I need to go out and actually do what I got to do,
Right
kind of.
before the pandemic, I was, like I
Ooh,
said, I
yeah,
was starting up
yeah.
my own business, and but I was
Hmm.
still working a regular 9 to 5. And this just my boss was just getting on my back, and I was kind of just like, this.
Hmm.
I already didn't like this shit. Like, I could clearly see my boss picking favorites. So it was like,
Hmm.
just walked off, no call, no show. Well, not no call, no show. I just walked up, never came back,
Right.
and
Yeah,
I'm like,
just
yeah,
just a no show.
just a no show. But we
Yeah.
all live in the same life. I'm Reach
Hmm.
J K Mountain Machine.
Hey, there we go, welcome in. um yeah, yeah, that's a it's the pandemic really changed a lot of people's lives, and I
Yeah,
think I think even for people who I think especially for people who had kind of like quote unquote an established career or something that they planned on doing, I think they realized one, I don't, I could work from home. There's more things for me to do. I don't need to be in the office,
facts.
right? I can pursue something on the side while, spending more time with family, whatever it may be. Um, so I think
Yeah,
I think that the pandemic really shifted the economy in a way that we weren't expecting.
'cause I feel like we had all gotten used to like complacent, like the fact that like, oh, we're just
Sure.
gonna have to work a shitty job with shitty bosses.
Mhm.
But like reality is we don't. We
Right.
really
Yeah.
don't.
And there was already a level of I guess being fed up with the complacency before
Hmm.
before the pandemic, but I think the pandemic really just like put the nail in the coffin and
Yeah,
showed everyone that there is a little more out there.
there's a whole lot out there.
Um, yeah, man.
Not even just streaming.
Yeah. Do you ever plan on leaving New York? That place can get expensive and there's always a lot going on. I guess that could be kind of a good and a bad thing.
Yeah,
Um,
well, I went to boarding school for 2 years, and then I left for college, and then I kind of stayed out of New York for like the next 4 or 5 years,
oh, really?
and it made me miss New York. Like New York is super, super unique. Like the diversity, like
Hmm.
just the
Yeah,
living
yeah.
experience here. Like it's the quality of life might be better other places, but just
Hmm.
New York is so like unique in what it has. Like it really is a melting pot. Like it has everything.
Yeah.
And no matter where you go, you might get more space. Like the cost of living might be cheaper, but like you're just missing out on something. Even the noise at night,
Hmm. Right,
I
right.
miss when I'm not in New York. But I don't know. I could see myself leaving it,
Hmm.
but probably not for a while. Not
Yeah,
for a while.
and you like live in the city, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's not like you're in a suburb or you're not living in Albany or something like that. You're
I was
deep
born and raised
in,
in Brooklyn. Yeah.
born and raised in Brooklyn. Wow. How is that growing up?
Um. Well, when I was really young, I wasn't allowed to go outside. But by the time I was
Hmm.
like in middle school, it was like starting to change a whole lot. Like it got a whole bunch of new residents moved in, like a whole bunch of other old buildings got knocked down. It's actually pretty safe now, except for like a select few places. It
Hmm.
changed a whole
Sure,
lot
sure.
over my lifetime.
Yeah.
A whole lot.
Yeah, so you grew up in Brooklyn, and
Yeah.
then
Where are you from?
geez, all up and down the East Coast. I was born in Massachusetts, spent some time in Northeast Pennsylvania, um,
Mhm.
moved down to Florida, lived there in like Tampa for like 8 years, and then I,
Oh
just kind
shit.
of going back up and down, and then I found that Middle Tennessee area, and just fell in
Okay,
love with
okay, okay.
Nashville. That's
Yeah,
kind
I've been
of
in Nashville. Nashville is really nice.
Nashville's so sick. On a personal note, I can't stand New York. It just
Really?
it's way too much city for me, man. It's I'm at
I
the
get that.
stage where I'm like, give me 10 acres and some chickens and you'll never see me again. Like
No, I
that's
feel
it.
that. I feel
I'm
that.
gone. Um, and then of course growing up in Massachusetts, there was always that like, fuck New York. They're all a fucking bunch of mooks.
I'm
It's
weak.
like just sitting here drinking my Dunkin'. Um, yeah, so yeah, New York was never really a fun place for me. It seemed like if when I did go to New York, you couldn't ask for directions without someone being like, "All right,
Yeah,
you're wasting my
you're not
time."
supposed to
Like,
talk to us. You're not
yeah,
supposed to talk to us. You have to figure that out on your own, or like exit a cab driver or something. It's really
right.
offensive to talk to a New Yorker, especially if you look them in the face. You might start a fight.
Yeah, yeah, fight fight on site. Yeah, there one of the biggest things I love about New York though is that you can get some bomb ass food anytime
That, bro,
anytime of
when
the
I'm
day.
saying like there's stuff you
That's the
miss out,
wildest
that's what I'm
shit.
talking about. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
talking.
yeah,
The
yeah.
food,
Hmm.
and it's open like 24/7. Like that shit. Oh,
Yeah, anything.
like I need
Anything.
to be able to eat whatever, whenever,
Yeah.
just cause.
Yeah, well, especially like growing up in New York,
Hmm.
your entire mental psyche is so different than anyone else in the country.
Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that when I
Hmm.
moved out of state, it is.
Yeah.
People think we're
Um,
so aggressive. I mean, we
oh
are,
yeah.
but
Well,
like,
I think I think it really just comes down to like a culture thing. Like it's a fast paced culture. You need to get shit done.
yeah, and it's a
Um,
lot of us. Like, you got to speak up to be heard.
yeah, 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 yeah. Right. Yeah, the South is so much different than that. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like everyone just kind of moseys along at their own pace and
Hmm.
no one's really in the rush for anything at all. Like everyone's
Yeah,
just kind of vibing out.
I hate that. I went to Florida once and I'll never have gone
Oh
back. It was
geez,
so
those
slow.
people,
Like
yeah.
it felt like a retirement state.
It is
Like
a
it was
retirement
insane.
state.
It was insane.
Yeah, we called it island time when we were
Yeah.
down there. Just like, it happens when it happens. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I get
but
that.
but but the show starts at 7:30. Yeah, we might get there at 7:30. I don't know.
I mean,
uh, yeah. So when did you said you went to like boarding school? When was
yeah.
that?
I after middle school, I took some independent school entrance exam or whatever, and I
Hmm.
did really well. And they actually flew me out to their boarding school, so there was like no chance I was gonna not go there because what was I like 13?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah. So I went there to school called Western Reserve Academy. It was actually in Ohio.
Okay. Ohio's an
It
interesting
was
place.
super preppy. Yeah, there's like athletes and like celebrities whose like kids went there.
Oh, geez. So
Yeah,
that
it
that's
was
that's a huge
an
difference.
experience. Yeah, it was an experience.
And did you finish out high school there? No, you said you're only there
No,
for two
I only
years.
went there for 2 years, and then I came back to New York for the last 2 years, and I finished up here.
Hmm.
And it just made me realize how much of a joke our school system is up here. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was like I didn't open my book bag outside of school, like my junior and senior year here.
Hmm.
Like I learned everything from high school when I was from boarding school. Those 2 years outside, I literally learned nothing my junior and senior year. Our school system is terrible.
Yeah, well, it's built very specifically to produce like workers,
Yeah,
factory workers. That's kind of what our school system was modeled on, and it seems like your 11th and 12th grade of the public school system is just
mm,
kind of a babysitter. Like
yeah,
we just got to keep you here, and because so you aren't like running the streets and doing a whole bunch of shit. I've
that's
seen
honestly what it
I've
felt
seen
like.
some places where school is from 10th grade, and then after
Hmm.
that you can go get like a trade certification or go to work on like a almost like a work visa to a certain
I kind of
extent.
like that.
I think it's great too.
Yeah.
In Massachusetts, I always liked the way that they did their schools. In middle school, what you would do is you take like an aptitude test
Hmm.
at the end of 8th grade. And in the city, there was a high school specifically for business and commerce, a
Hmm.
science and technology school, a college prep school, and then a vocational school.
Hmm.
So depending on what you scored and kind of what you chose, um, it kind of gave the each high school a direct focus on what they were teaching. Um,
That seems kind of early to choose, though.
what happened?
Like, what if you change your mind?
I mean, you could always transfer schools for sure.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
you know, generally speaking, the people who was, the school system knew you weren't going to college. Just kind of sent you to the vocational school and was like, "Hey,
Copy, copy.
do your best." So we had a lot of the shitty kids at that school. I think our graduation rate was like 67%. It was so low, like crazy low.
Okay, okay.
Um, but it was interesting because you'd have like a 1 week of academic classes and then 1 week
Hmm.
of your shop class. So whether that was like auto body, sheet metal,
No, that's dope.
hospitality, graphic design, they had all kinds of shit. Um, but I think that's an adaptation that maybe could help out the public school system for sure.
For sure.
Uh,
I like that.
yeah, it
Kind
seemed
of.
like it worked.
Yeah, my parents are Caribbean. And that's how their school system is.
Yeah.
Like they
Oh,
have
is it?
specific schools for separate things. Like yeah,
Hmm.
if you score, like they have like three schools for like sending people to college, and it's all like based on like test scores, like which one you get into, and then they have like schools for like trades and all that other stuff.
Right, right. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Did they were they born here? Did they immigrate?
No, both my parents are from the Caribbean. My
Uh,
mom grew up in the Caribbean. She was actually born in the UK,
oh
and my
wow,
dad was born in the Caribbean, St. Vincent.
wow. How is that like? Okay, wait. So she
Um,
was born in the UK, but he was in. Did they meet up in the US, or
they
did
met
they
up
know?
in the U.S. She was born in the UK because her father was a sailor. So she was
Wow.
born in the UK, but her whole family's Caribbean. She was raised in St. Vincent Island, and yeah, they met here because my father was a soccer player, and he was playing in New York when her
Oh
family
wow.
moved to New York. Yeah, and that's how they met.
Oh, that's cool as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's interesting. I always find it interesting to talk to, both of my parents were as American as you realistically can be. My
Hmm.
my grandparents, they were kind of from around other places, but it's always interesting to talk to children of immigrants
Hmm.
because the whole idea of coming to America and kind of doing your own thing
Hmm.
seems to kind of uh, shape your perception a lot different than people who were born here and they've had generations of
Yeah,
family in America. You know what I mean?
for sure,
Um,
for sure.
did did they kind of instill certain values in you that maybe Americans would wouldn't necessarily think about?
Um, honestly, I don't know because
Hmm.
they were super religious.
Yeah, yeah,
I feel like everything they instilled was like religious based in some way.
sure, sure,
So
yeah,
like I wasn't allowed to go to parties. I didn't really get to go hang out with my friends
hmm,
too much. Like everything was church, either like church or like schoolwork. Like that was it for the most part. Which is part
yeah,
of the reason why I went away from college because I was like, I need to go have some fun now.
for sure. Yeah, there's that level of development that's missed in a
Mhm.
I guess you could say, for lack of a better term, like a what's it called? A sheltered upbringing to a certain
Yeah,
extent.
super, super.
Um, yeah, yeah. I think what's it called? Like my grandparents on my dad's side. My
Hmm.
grandmother was born and raised generations from Puerto Rico, and my grandfather on my dad's side, think he I think he was born in the U.S., but his father
Hmm.
was like straight from Spain.
Okay,
Uh,
okay.
so it's like they were very kind of like strict as far as their upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was kind of like the odd sheep in the group. Like, and when
Mm-hmm.
you look at my family, it's like, oh, sweet. So everyone's like real proper and does exactly what they should do to a
Mm-hmm.
certain extent. And then my dad was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna go do my own thing, and he's got a bunch of problems. Um,
Oh damn.
yeah, I mean, it's not an uncommon story. It's not a big deal at the end of the day. Um,
Mm.
but so what did you do when you decided that you had to kind of branch out and experience life? Like, what was that like from being sheltered and doing
Um,
what you're supposed to do to kind of your own thing? What kind of
it was a
transition was that?
it was a whole lot of fun. So again, because I went to boarding school, like I said, so when I came back here, like the school system here is a joke. I had really
Yeah,
good
yeah.
grades, and I kind of got to choose where I wanted to go, and I just chose the number one party school in the country at the time, which
Oh,
was
okay.
Ohio University.
Sure,
So that's
sure.
where I went, and that was
Hugely
fun.
different.
Yes,
Wildly different.
wildly different.
Did
It
you
was a
join
lot of
like
fun.
fraternities and shit?
I did not join frats. I
No.
hated the frats. Yeah, I hated that. But I did meet Logan Paul. He came to my birthday party because that's where he went to school, and I was a huge douchebag. I was like really mean to
Right.
him because he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
kind of unliked on campus. People thought he was weird. I
I mean,
know. I
he,
wish I
he
could
is
go
pretty
back in
weird.
time. Yeah, no, I would have been so much nicer.
Yeah,
But
right.
yeah, it was an experience. It was a lot of fun.
Mhm.
Definitely learned a lot.
Yeah. What
Like
what did you get your degree in?
psychology. I went for journalism because I wanted to do
Okay.
sports journalism.
Yeah, yeah,
Found
yeah.
out I don't really care for journalism like that
you,
unless it's
you
related
just
to
like the
sports.
sports. Yeah, you
Yeah,
just like
I
the
just like
sports
sports.
aspect of it.
And but yeah. So I ended up just like I got dragged out because I had to leave there. I went to community college for a little bit. And then
Mhm.
when I moved back to New York, that's when I finally finished up. So I switched to psych, honestly, because I was just tired. I was like, I want to get out now.
Mhm.
So switched to
Yeah.
psych, finished up, started working with that, didn't like it, and now here we are.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like journalism, psychology, and like communications are like the
Mm-hmm.
the three most popular kind of avenues to go, especially when you don't necessarily, know
Know what you want to do?
know
Yeah.
what you want to do. Yeah. I've always liked the idea of being like a clinical psychologist.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like I'm not going back to school at this point to to
No,
pursue
and
any of that.
that's the thing. Like, I knew people who also like studied psychology, and they went and got like a master's or whatever.
Ooh, we
Like,
got
well, I had an ex-girlfriend at the time who got a master's in psych, but she was working and like it was her dream, whatever, whatever. But I noticed like me with my bachelor's was not making that much less. So I was like, I'm not about to go back to school to make like $5 more an hour. Like that doesn't make sense. Like
right.
I'm not.
Yeah. No, for sure. And that's exactly what it kind
Mhm.
of comes down to. The return on investment
Yeah,
just isn't necessarily
and it's
there
not like it was
like
making me
it
happy.
used to
Like I
be.
was just a dog. So
Um,
yeah.
yeah, it's just the real low all of a sudden.
Is it? Yeah. I didn't do anything. Okay. I'll just speak louder. Is that cool?
Okay, yep, nope, that's back to perfect. Um, fuck, where were we? Um, yeah, I lost my spot. Um,
Just
what's
my
it?
school
Uh,
degrees.
yeah. So you finished school, and then
Mhm.
at that point, you went back to New York. Well, you were already in New York then.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I was at OU. I partied way too hard. Had to stop. I realized that on my own. My parents didn't even say, I just like, all right, I'm not doing this. So I left, worked, college. I was still in Ohio. So I want to come back home because I like it. And then after a while, I was like, this is tough. I'm not going to school here.
Oh,
So,
your audio dropped again.
I don't know what's happening. All right. So I stopped going to
There we go. We
okay.
got you.
But
We
basically I was
got you.
partying too much at OU. So I left. I moved into like a town still in Ohio. I believe Columbus. I believe. And I was working. I was going to community college, and for a couple of years, and it was taking forever because I was only going to school part time. So
Mhm.
that's kind of why I was like, all right, you know what? I'll just come back
Okay,
home.
gotcha.
Yeah, and I finished up a fifth, and but yeah, psych's not for me. I didn't care for it. I really didn't.
No, no. What was the plan? Like, you get your psych degree, and then like what was
I honestly didn't have a plan. I just was tired of
it? Was
being
just
in
the
school.
process.
Yeah, I was tired of being in school and I wanted to finish, so I
Hmm.
switched to psych so I could finish fast and just get out.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Honestly.
You have a huge, what seems to be a huge love for like anime and kind
Yes.
of, yeah. I get,
I do love anime.
yeah. I remember, what's it? One of your popular catchphrases was you can't be Hokage if you can't save a friend, or
Save a
something
friend.
like
Yeah,
that. And I had
that's
no
true.
fucking clue what you were talking about when,
Oh,
when
you
I
never watched
first heard that.
Naruto?
No.
No? No, okay, okay,
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah. That was a thing. Like, what got you into that? Because that's obviously a huge part of.
um yeah, I have low key I've like well not low key. I've high key liked anime my entire life.
Uh-huh.
Back when like people used to get made fun of for watching it, because now it's like
Right,
it's
right.
cool, it's socially acceptable, but like just like my whole life, I remember I would like stay up on YouTube or Hulu, just like watching new Naruto episodes. Or
Mm-hmm.
I think growing up, I used to watch a lot of obscure ones like Shaman King fighting Foodons.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been around. Like I've always liked cartoons. I was very upset growing up when cartoon channels started doing the live action shows. I was
Yeah, yeah,
really,
yeah.
really upset by that about that.
Mm-hmm. Well, and
Like I
like,
love Disney when there's like a bunch of gargoyles and like Mighty Ducks, and then they started doing stuff like Hannah Montana, and I was very upset. I wanted my
yeah,
cartoon.
yeah. Was it
yeah,
that and like a Sweet Life of Zach and
yeah,
Cody?
yeah.
And it was
I
like they
was
were all
very
the
upset.
same show too. Like
Yeah,
it seemed at the end of the day, all had like the same kind of premise to it, real similar stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't watch a lot of cartoons growing up. I remember
Mhm.
every once in a while I would catch Thundercats,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
I
I
started
did love
watching
it.
Thundercats when like it was really getting phased out. Like I was a
Mm,
generation too late to really get
but
into like
yes,
the
I remember
Thundercats and
watching that.
stuff. Dude, that was
See,
the shit.
that's my thing. Like those are the type of cartoons that I used to grow up. I used to like watching growing up, and then like
Mhm.
cartoons started to get like softer, more innocent, sort of. But
It
anime
it
still was like
it
had
didn't
that
have enough
same
depth.
tone. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
So that's why I kind of probably transitioned over to anime. I'm sure Dragon Ball Z had a lot to do with that. That was huge growing up.
Sure. Oh yeah, massive.
Yeah.
Massive, yeah. My grandmother, she told me that she didn't like most of the cartoons I watched unless it was on like,
Hmm.
Disney or whatever it was. And I remember
Hmm.
she done threw a fit cuz I was watching Pokemon. And
Pokemon?
yeah, she
Oh,
was like there's demons in the balls and all kinds of stuff, and I was like, "Oh,
yeah.
that's weird." Um,
My
but
parents were like that.
yeah.
They let me have Pokemon
Okay,
though.
Pokemon was good.
yeah,
What did you ever get into like what's it? I know you're into Avatar: The Last Airbender. That
I do love
was
Avatar.
that was probably the first cartoon that I watched, and I was
Hmm.
like, "There's something different about this," and
Yo,
I'm in it.
Avatar was in a league of its own growing up because I was on Nickelodeon.
Hmm.
Nickelodeon had some good cartoons, but Avatar was on a league of its
Not
own.
yeah, not like that. That
Yeah,
was
like
that
the
was
Wild
something special.
Thornberries, Rocket Power.
Oh, dude, Rocket
Those
Power, dude.
Rocket
Yeah,
Power is my favorite.
yeah, that was real cool. That show made me want to get a skateboard,
Yeah.
and I almost never skateboarded, but I had a skateboard, so I was like, yeah, you know,
oh man,
yeah. Um,
I had a little skateboarding phase, longboarding.
oh,
Too old
longboarding.
now.
That's interesting. That seems more of like a Florida, California thing.
It was when I was in Ohio.
Okay, gotcha,
Uh,
gotcha.
yeah,
Oh,
it's easier than
college,
skateboarding by
college,
far.
college
College,
longboarding.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, what's it? Cartoons are definitely one of those things where it's gone through so many changes,
Hmm.
that cartoons had like a phase in like the late 90s, very early 2000s, that
Hmm.
it just a lot of them hit real different,
Yeah.
especially like you mentioned in like anime. I
Hmm.
remember that's when I saw like Bleach for the first time.
Ooh,
And
I
that
was
was like
late on Bleach.
Yeah, same. Um,
Hmm.
what's I think I maybe watched like the whatever was on Netflix recently, within the last couple years or so.
Hmm.
Um, and I was like, oh, this. I remember seeing that, or like Inuyasha on like
Okay, I actually have never
Adult
watched that.
Swim. Uh,
Hmm.
it always seemed really interesting to me, but I could never stay up late enough to watch it.
Exactly, that's what it
Um,
was.
but even now, I hear like that's a real good one. I've liked One Piece. I think
I
that
do like
show
One
there.
Piece.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just so
got
long.
yeah. Well, and my thing is I don't like reading my cartoons.
Mm.
I like the dubbed version. I don't like the subs.
Hmm.
So it's difficult for me to follow One Piece as much as I would like to, because
Yeah,
there's only so much of it that's actually dubbed.
it's a lot of filler too.
Oddly enough, I don't have an issue with filler. Um, like sometimes, right?
Hmm.
Sometimes it's like, okay, nothing's happened the past 7 episodes.
Hmm.
But yeah, I like kind of the slice of life aspect to some of these shows, and I think anime, when they do have a lot of filler episodes,
Uh-huh.
it it kind of gives me a break. One thing I don't like about some shows is like it's always go 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 go. There's problem
Hmm.
after problem after problem after problem. Um,
Hmm.
what's it? One show that really kind of gave me a bad taste about that was like I don't know if you've watched Sons of Anarchy.
I've seen a couple episodes of Sons of Anarchy. My friends are really into it.
Yeah, yeah. It's man, that thing made me want to get a bike. That's for sure.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude. Um, but that's a show where it's like you got each season, you got kind of your major plot point. It gets
Hmm.
wrapped up, and immediately after, there's a bigger plot point and a bigger plot point, and there's not really like any time to breathe.
Okay, okay.
It's the tension's always wound up, and it almost never releases. It's actually like the filler episodes in a lot of shows. It gives me a chance to be like, okay, well, what would Aang, Katara, and Sokka do if they just had a beach day, or if they went to a
Yeah.
play, or or they went to a play, or something like that. They're just hanging out in Ba Sing
Right.
Se for the day.
Their filler is really good. You just
Yeah.
made me realize that their filler,
Mhm.
the Avatar's fillers are amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
beach day was a really good episode.
Oh, it's so
So
good.
was the play was an amazing episode.
I love the play. The play
Yeah.
was it was like I think that was like a season premiere, wasn't it?
Hmm.
Like for like book 3 or something like that, where it kind of needed a recap,
Yeah, I was about to say
and
it's
they did it
basically just a
really well.
recap. They did that really well. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of shows doing something like that.
Mm-mm.
So what would be your favorite anime that you've kind of explored and seen so far?
Favorite is tough to just pick one.
Oh,
There's so
gotcha, gotcha.
many. I
Hmm.
Death Note always comes to mind because it's already complete. Like it's a one-off story,
Yeah.
but there's so many that compete for that top spot, like Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, Doro. Like there's a lot,
Hmm.
but Death Note is definitely one that I always have in my top. So I'll say Death Note.
Stands out.
Have you seen it?
No, no.
Oh,
I think I've seen. Okay, no, I know vaguely the premise of it. I think
mhm.
I was thinking of Black Butler. I saw a few episodes of Black Butler, and I was like, "Oh, this is sick."
That's what I thought. And then Black Butler kind of just got really slow.
To fall off.
Yeah, like heavy. I
Hmm.
don't know. He started actually just doing like butlering and stuff. Like,
It's like, oh, well, that's not exciting.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So what about Death Note was intriguing to you? Like, why does that one stand out?
Okay, well, the thing is, like with anime, like I like a lot of action, like
Hmm.
nonstop action, violence,
Gotcha.
gore, all that stuff. Like some
Hmm.
normally I like. There's almost none of that in Death Note, and that's what really stuck. I was like, how are you keeping me so enthralled without any of these like factors that I really like?
Yeah,
Like the
yeah.
story is just amazing. It's like 100% just like mind games. Because like
Mm,
what's I didn't watch it for a really long time. I was late to that too because I was like, okay, you write someone's name in a book and they die. Like that sounds whack. But I just
mhm.
kept hearing people telling me how like good it is. So I watched it and it's just cliffhanger after cliffhanger after like mind game after mind game. And it's just like it had me hooked. I
Yeah,
went and I binged it one time through.
yeah.
It's like one season basically.
Like the pacing was just perfect.
Perfect, and the mind games were perfect. Like it was, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, what's it? Someone suggested fuck. Like Fairy Tale Park or
That's another one I'm hearing about. Fairy Tale.
yeah, something like that. It was like it's like based upon like an orphanage. Um
Oh, Promise Neverland. That is in my
Promise
top.
Neverland.
Oh my god, that is
Dude,
amazing. That is
that
amazing.
and I only watched like the first season. I don't know if there's any more. Oh, no, no, no. I think
I've only watched the first season. There is a second season though.
okay, gotcha. Yeah, I think
I
I've
heard
only
it's not
watched
as
the
good.
first season. But after the first season, I was like, this actually like from the first like so when the person told me to watch it because I was like, I'm
Hmm.
not really into anime, but I'm interested and I'd like to get into it. Do you have any suggestions? They're
Hmm.
like, first off, you've already seen like One Piece. It's like a classic. At least like it. I was told like One Piece is a good one to kind of get you into the idea of like the animation and the style of humor that's in a lot
Hmm.
of these shows. I
Yeah,
was like, okay, yeah, yeah, I dig One Piece. Bleach had such a cool concept behind it. I really liked that. Um,
definitely.
and then someone mentioned Promise Neverland. And I was like, okay, well, what's that one about? And they're like, I actually can't tell you. Like, you just need to watch the first episode
Facts.
and you'll know if you like it or not. So I'm like, okay, I don't know if I'm gonna watch it. And eventually, I was sitting there like, all right, I'll put this on. I got the Crunchyroll subscription just to try out
Hmm.
some shows.
Do you really?
Yeah. Yeah, I bought the Crunchyroll subscription just to try out that show, and there's a couple other on there that I haven't got. I've been paying for it for like 4 months, and I just haven't gotten back to
Hmm.
it. Um, but yeah,
I definitely have recommendations.
yeah, oh, I'm sure. Yeah,
Just
you're what's it? You got a whole channel on your Discord that's about anime,
for
right?
anime talk. Yeah.
Yeah,
Made me
yeah,
realize how
everyone.
much anime I haven't seen.
Right. Well, there's so much. Like
Yeah, that's true.
and as far as the animation goes, um, it's got such a history behind it. And anyone who's been in the anime space, like as long as you have, or as long as someone else has, it's like
Hmm.
you can compare two people's views of anime and what they've seen, and you're
Hmm.
gonna find a whole bunch of stuff that you've never even heard of that just
Yeah, hundred
hits.
percent, 100%.
I remember I liked the idea of what was it? It was like the one where they're in a video game, but they're like trapped there. Sword Art
Sword Art
Online.
Online. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I thought
I've
I
never
heard.
seen that.
I liked the first season. I thought
Hmm.
the whole premise of the show was it was an intense idea, like you're trapped in this
Hmm.
video game and you have to beat it to get out, kind of thing.
Hmm.
But if you die in the video game, then you're
Definitely.
done.
Yeah.
So it's like it added a really interesting idea, especially like if you play video games, or I play
Hmm.
Dungeons and Dragons, right? So the idea of being this character in this world and have to interact with stuff
Hmm.
um, is really interesting. Have you ever played D&D or
It's
any type
funny.
of tabletop games?
I just got put onto D&D. Like we
Hmm.
just started like a month or two ago for the first time
Mm,
ever. It's rough. I died last
yeah,
week.
yeah. Oh shit, your first death. So what's that been? Like D&D is a huge part of my life, so I'm always interested in hearing new player experiences on that.
It takes a lot more time than I anticipated.
Yeah, you got like carve
Like
out a
it,
whole day.
yeah, yeah. It's kind of hard to do that. Oh my god,
For
I got
sure.
no phone.
Oh, you're good, buddy.
Okay, sorry about that.
All right, all right. Um, yeah, what was kind of the story that you guys were playing through, and that whole what was your character and all that other stuff?
Um, I was some type of bird creature,
Okay. Yep.
and we were going around closing up portals that were just opening all over the place.
Hmm.
And every time we had to do that, some evil creature would like pop out.
Hmm.
And the last one murdered me because I'm a mage, but I was trying to stab him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Mages aren't great at staffing.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Were you playing like a fifth edition or Pathfinder or
Oh, see, I have no idea. We
no
have this
idea?
dude Lucky who is the dungeon master, and he just
Yeah,
took a
yeah.
bunch of us who have no idea what we're doing,
Hmm.
and it's kind of just running the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. Yeah, when I first started playing,
hmm
I was kind of pushed into the default dungeon master position, so I had to like
hmm
learn how to do it and everything like that. And
that's a
at this
lot.
point, it is a lot. Yeah.
Hmm
The one thing that I learned real quick is that the rules are suggestions.
mm
You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, these are the basic mechanics of the game,
hmm
but I've always liked the idea of the rule of cool. Like if you're trying to do something and it's just kind of a badass thing to do, yeah, you just do it. Like I'm
Okay.
in full favor. You know, the gods smile upon you and you get to do whatever you're gonna do because that's rad.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, it's definitely it's a game that I think everyone should try at least once.
Yeah.
Um, for
I feel like
sure.
it would have been more fun if I was able to do it in person
Oh, you're doing
because we do it
online?
over the phone, and it's not. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. Yeah, well, especially if you're doing online over the phone,
Hmm
it's a headache. It's like
Yeah.
way more of a hassle than it needs to be. Yeah, we do a bi-weekly D&D game based in the Lord of the Rings world right now.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I didn't realize you could do it like that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, when you start getting into the hobby, you realize that there's so many like people are making versions of these tabletop games all over the place. I'm doing a play test with a buddy of mine who wrote his own kind of rule system and everything. And
Uh-huh.
it's like a dystopian sci-fi western apocalypse kind of feel to it. Where
Okay,
you get like
okay.
cyborgs and cowboys kind of thing.
So Westworld.
Ooh, that's low key. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Something like that. Little more on the gritty side. Westworld was really good.
Westworld is amazing.
I've only seen the first season of that too, but I was like, no, this is
I
something
think
different. I
I've
like that.
seen like the first two, and then I heard it completely changes. I kind of want to catch up and finish it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Um, what was it?
barely have time to watch shows anymore though.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. Which it almost seems like there's almost a level of guilt when I stream because it's like I'm spending
Hmm
so much time sitting here playing a game.
hmm
And it's like, man, I could be doing something else right now. That's probably, in my mind, like a little more productive. But
hmm
then I get, chat starts talking and stuff like that, and we start hanging out, and then I realize like there can be an actual point to it.
Yeah, for sure,
Mhm.
for sure.
Um, what's it called? Uh, Now, like DBD is kind of
Hmm
the big pull for your channel.
Yeah.
Um, when did like what was it about D&D that made you want to stream that? I mean, sometimes you're on all the time. Like you
Yeah.
you put in so many hours.
I know. I know. Well, honestly, I've had Dead by Daylight for years,
Hmm.
but I never really played it like that up until like 6, 7 months ago. I used to just have it. It basically was just like, like when you have people over, like, yo, I have this game. It's like a scary movie, but like you play it
Yeah,
out
yeah.
yourself. Like I thought you were supposed to die at the end. Like I had no idea.
Hmm.
But then these people, Steak and Eggs Gaming, they
Okay.
actually would stream it every night. And like they were really cool people. So I'll just pull up and play with them. And they kind of kept it alive for me. And
Right,
then
right.
one day I was just like, all right, well, I'll just try streaming it. Like the lobby times are kind of long. Like coming from multiverses,
Right.
there's really no wait time at all. So I was kind
No,
of
they
like,
put you right in.
yeah, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like I'm gonna have to entertain people like while the lobbies are loading. I was like, whatever, I give it a try. And it did pretty well on the first one. So like, all right, maybe there's something here. And I have been there for like the past half a year now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always interesting to try out a game and
Yeah,
then you realize at some point during the stream it's like, "Oh shit, this
it's
one's
working.
hitting."
Yeah,
Yeah. I had that
it's
with
always nerve wracking trying a new game.
for sure. Well, especially, you get a lot of people who it's like, "Oh yeah, MKUltrahh, he's the DBD guy." and then
Hmm.
you don't play DBD, and they're like, "Oh, well, I'm here for DBD, so I'm
Yeah,
not gonna watch them." There's
exactly.
always that level to it. Um, I think you see some guys, especially like DVD streamers.
Hmm.
Like oh shit, I can't remember the guy's name. You got like Spooky Loops
Hmm.
and Oddstrava. I mean, they're
Hmm.
on 8-10 hours every single day streaming only DVD. And I don't know, obviously they have to like the game,
Yeah.
for them to do that. But seeing that, I've always thought of like, man, I don't think I could do that because like one, maybe I just haven't found a game that I want to main on my channel.
Hmm.
But if there was an opportunity of me going, well, I want to try this game, you know,
Hmm.
who's actually gonna be there? You know what I mean? Um, but
That's fact.
they've amassed enough of a following where people are gonna go
Yeah,
wherever they go.
it's kind of like it's a hard like line to thread because it's like yeah, like, oh, you don't want to play other games because you don't know if people will show up to it, but then
Hmm.
people will never get used to you playing other games unless you
Yeah,
play other games. So
you have to like train them
yeah, to get used to
to be
seeing
there
other
for
shit.
you. Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Like that's what I'm kind of trying to do now. It's tough because it's clearly not hitting like DVD. But
Hmm.
yeah, I'm trying to mix some more games in there because I mean, like, I still do consider myself a variety streamer because not that
Hmm.
long ago, people saw me as a multiverse streamer and thought it would be crazy that I would stream anything else. So
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. What's it? And I mean, every time I see one of your streams, even if I don't get a chance to watch, I
hmm
mean, you have an average viewer count of like anywhere from 10 to like 30 people sometimes, probably more too at times. What's like your average viewership, if you don't mind me asking?
no, right now it's at 21, and yeah, yeah, I didn't. It's crazy because I remember when it was when I had reached 10, I was like, wow, I never thought I'd get here. And
Yeah.
then my friend was like, yo, just five at a time, five at a time. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. And then I hit
Hmm.
15 and I was like, all right, this shit is way better than I thought. I don't know if I ever reached 20. And now I'm at 20. So now it's like, damn, like that five at a time, really. I like
Hmm.
that. Five at a time, eventually you might hit partner. So that's what I'm
Yeah,
hoping for.
that dude,
I'm
you deserve it for sure.
trying.
Anytime I give you a shout out in my stream, or if I'm talking about streamer and stuff, because I've started looking at it more so from like, I guess you could say, a business mindset.
Hmm.
Like there's a return on investment for the time that you put in and the amount of work that you put in.
Yeah,
That kind of
I hope so.
shows up. Um, and me and a good friend, one of my buddies that I play D&D with on
Hmm.
on his channel, um we've talked about streaming years ago, and just no neither of us that ever kind of pulled the trigger until
Hmm.
he did one day. And
Hmm.
then after playing with him on stream for a few months, I was like, I might give this a
Okay.
try.
Yeah.
um and the community that he's kind of built by interacting with other streamers and getting involved in their community,
Hmm.
um got me to the point where I was, I got affiliate 4 months, something like that.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
really
Okay.
quick, and I was expecting like, oh no, I'm not going to get affiliate for like a year at least, you
Yeah.
know but making those connections with the other streamers, and like you mentioned, networking.
Hmm.
One, it makes it makes the whole thing kind of feel like a little more than a hobby. It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this I'm hanging out with friends. We're playing Jackbox today, or we got Among Us, and all the streamer people are getting together, and I'm learning how to like make videos, and I'm pulling video that they give me so I can kind of mash up on my stuff and everything. And it's a it's a fun ride. It
Hmm.
really is.
It
Um,
is.
One of my biggest worries was I've never seen myself as like an entertainer.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So I think that was one of my big concerns in starting to stream. It's like, no, I'm not nearly as funny as Jarl of Goats or MKUltrahh or anything like that. uh,
Well, but I feel like you're entertaining. You're definitely entertaining. Like I don't think you have to be funny. I don't even know if I would call myself funny, but I don't like you just like yeah, you just got to be entertaining, and there's so many different types of ways to be entertaining.
Mm.
Like it,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, funny is just one. Funny is just one.
Yeah. Entertaining doesn't necessarily have to be funny. I think that's definitely a good way to look at it. Uh, one of the most interesting things about kind of hanging out in your streams is your
Hmm.
chat. Your chat and your interactions with chat are so unique compared to a lot of people that I watch. It's either a lot of people, they're either like, you know, reading chat nonstop and never really get to gameplay, and it
Uh-huh.
almost feels like they're so worried about staying on top of everything that's over here that it's just you're watching someone read chat and there's like
Hmm.
kind of a game in the background,
Hmm.
but your interaction with chat makes you feel like, oh, we're all in the same room just like shooting the shit and hanging out. um has
I
that
appreciate
always been
that.
like that? Did you curate that a certain way?
No, it's funny. They get. I feel like my chat gets on me all the time for not reading enough chat. So it's funny you said that. I just be trying. I don't want anyone to feel like left out or overlooked. So that's
Yeah,
really
yeah,
all it is.
for
But I
sure.
just. But yeah, that's really all it is. I try to make friends, I guess. So I treat them like I would
Mhm.
treat my friends, and I don't know if that's maybe what it is. Someone recently told me that too, and I wasn't really sure what it is. Like I really just try to acknowledge everybody and be cool with everybody. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah. Yeah, you definitely yeah, the first stream for sure is what stood out for me. Um like your interactions with chat, we're laughing and we're making jokes about each other. I mean, I was just lurking.
Mhm.
I was just lurking at that point. I was like, yeah, I used to watch some DBD, and my girlfriend and I used to play DBD like fuck a lot, a
Mhm.
lot, a lot. Um, and so it's like, yeah, I'll pop into a DVD stream and try to, see what's out there.
Mhm.
I follow a bunch of the big streamers, but I
Mhm.
enjoy hanging out in smaller communities because, like, you know, the big
So
streamers get to the point where like their chat's going a mile a minute, and I can't, you can't chat in that. It's just a bunch
yeah.
of people blasting shit on the keyboard. So I like hanging out with like the smaller communities, and I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh shit, this is like a whole ass party in here."
It is, and I
And
got the
I,
Discord going in my ear all the time now. Like they're just
dude,
nonstop bullying me all stream.
Discord is wild, dude.
Yeah.
I like I think I'm in like 14 channels, and the only other Discords that are like popping off as much as yours are like, the people who average, 3,000 viewers a stream and stuff like that.
Hey,
Like,
that's what's up.
crazy. Um but from day one that your Discord dropped, which like was super recent.
Mhm. Because I'm
um
so bad with this
Yeah,
technology shit.
you get that old man technology syndrome.
100%.
Um, yeah, and it's like, and people from your community actually set that up for you, right?
Yeah, they did. They helped me out. I had Sky High and Unusual Uni did it for me
Hmm.
because I'm bad at this. I'm trying to learn it now though because I got to learn how to do this stuff myself. Like this
Yeah,
doesn't make sense.
right. Yeah, I mean, I wake up, I can't keep track of anyone's Discord at this point,
Hmm.
but yours in particular, I was like, okay, sweet, it just started. I'm a keep up with it, and then I go to
Hmm.
bed and I wake up and there's like 600 messages, and I'm like, what the fuck? What did I miss?
Well, I did just meet like a really, 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 really good group of people. Like they all came from different places, but they all like kind of showed
Hmm.
up at the same time, and they kind of keep it going. And I really appreciate that. Like it really is like
Yeah,
a community. Like it's not like we don't just say that shit. Like we really genuinely enjoy each other
hmm,
and shit. Like it's cool.
for sure. Yeah, it's not. It's yeah, it's definitely something unique. And I think there's definitely a level of your actual community that's been built,
Hmm.
kind of at this point just keeping everything going with you instead of
Hmm.
you trying to work so hard at keeping the community together. Everyone,
Yeah.
and like everyone's super supportive. You got a whole channel on there for a road to affiliate, or I think
Hmm.
it's called.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome. It's a whole group of people actually like supporting each other and trying to uplift each other and stuff like that. I mean, I found some really cool streamers that I hang out with.
Hmm.
You know, mostly lurking because I
Hmm.
don't have a lot of time to be like, you know, into streams that often anymore.
Uh-huh.
Um, but great people. Everyone there is so fucking cool.
Yeah, and they're all doing shit. Like no one is out here looking to get carried or like hand out. Like everyone's got their own thing going. They're like trying to build
Yeah,
their own
yeah,
shit too.
yeah.
Like that's the kind of people I want to surround myself with. People who are doing shit,
Hmm.
right? Because I definitely do want to show love and stuff too. But it's way easier to show love to people when you see them like working for themselves, like not just like waiting around for it and shit. You know?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and people recognize when others are doing that. You know,
Yeah,
sometimes it takes a little while, but like you can't hide something like that for too long.
yeah, that's true. That's a fact.
Um, yeah. So as far as going forward,
Hmm.
what kind of stuff are you looking to do? Like, do you set goals or do you just have general, you know,
I have like,
ideas?
well, like I said, the growth of like the incremental fives. That's kind of
Hmm.
like a passive goal that I have going all the time. And
Okay.
then one of my most immediate goals I have right now is to get more social media savvy. Like I said, I want to expand to like TikTok and just like get more
Yeah. Yeah.
clips and stuff. Also, it was brought to my attention I could really use some sound alerts.
Yeah.
So I gotta learn that too.
Yeah. Yeah. Sound alerts for sure.
Yeah. I don't know, I just want to keep going, keep meeting dope people. I want to keep meeting dope people, but I don't exactly have that as like a goal because like it kind of like it has to happen organically, like we were talking about before.
Right.
And
Right.
I've been fortunate with that, and hopefully I continue to be fortunate with that. But you know,
Hmm. Well, there's always a concern that yeah, Cammy's social media savvy. She's that's my girlfriend. She helps me out kind of.
like,
I'll show her TikToks and be like, hey, is this a TikTok? Is this what TikTok does?
oh my god, you sound like me. That's bad.
Yeah, dude, I'm so bad. Um, but yeah, there's always a concern that I think people underestimate when you grow too fast.
Hmm.
You know, because if you grow too fast, it's like it's not necessarily like I'm trying to think of the most correct way to to put this, but in a sense, like you know, you can do some targeted advertising, you can do all that kind of stuff, and you can blast up, you know, from 50 to 300 you know, followers or whatever. But just because you
Hmm.
have those those followers doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be in chat, you know, or even see your stream. Like
Hmm.
it matters on, you know, what value you're bringing, you
Yeah.
know. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of people are like, oh man, I'm growing so fast, this is great, but does it mean anything if no one is actually engaging with the content that you're creating?
No, facts, facts,
You
facts.
know,
That's kind of
it's kind of like
what's happening with
empty calories.
multiverses. Yeah, like multiverses. I feel like I had views but no community,
Hmm.
and it definitely wasn't hitting the same because it's like couldn't really switch from multiverses. Couldn't like you have bad games like chat is gone, like it's dead. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
so,
yeah, yeah.
and I
Well,
like that's kind of why I play and like move the way I do in my stream now. But I'm starting to realize like I can have bad games, like I can slow down a little bit, and people kind of
hmm,
still will hang out and stuff. But you know,
yeah. Well,
it's a process.
when it comes to like video game content, the
Hmm.
common idea behind it for so long was either you know, you're either really good at the game so people are enjoy watching your gameplay, or you
Hmm.
do like challenges, you
Yeah.
know, and it's like, okay, that's an interesting thing, I'm going to watch that because, you know, I enjoy the game, I'm kind of in the gaming community for whatever that is, and you're
Hmm.
playing a game in an interesting way. But I
Yeah.
think with you know, more people, especially during the pandemic, people had a lot more time to actually experience streams and live streams and stuff like that, and more content in general.
Hmm.
I think the idea of you don't necessarily need to like make the game harder or play it a certain way or even be good at the game. You just need to have a good personality and like enjoy being there. You know,
Hmm.
I see so many people who, you know, are at the point where we all were at one point. I mean, I'm still there a lot of the time. You know, I just hit affiliate, but but you see a lot of people who play games, and it's just like they're stone faced looking at the camera, and they're just like clicking away, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I think like
what's going to keep
streaming, like
people
trying
there?
to yeah, like trying to be good at games now, like that's kind of not the way to go. Like they have,
No,
if you
no,
want to watch
it's
the gameplay, you
cringy.
go watch the big people. Yeah, like
Yeah, it's just cringy now.
like, yeah.
Yeah, that's how it is on
How's New York doing?
oh yeah, yeah.
It's doing better. It doesn't stink anymore. Well, it doesn't smell like burning anymore.
Yeah.
It still stinks.
Yeah, well, New York's always kind of had an interesting scent to
Yeah,
it.
it changes block to block.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, if you're looking for like that, MLG level gameplay, you go to the big streamers and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Um, I think that's one of the reasons why I basically stopped streaming Overwatch, because it seemed like everyone who watches Overwatch is looking
Hmm.
for like,
Good gameplay.
highly competitive, and like, streamer, why aren't you playing comp? I'm like, cause comp's
Yeah,
fucking lame. That's why,
I'm
you
like,
know.
I had a little Overwatch period. I would play comp and stuff. It just the fun got taken out of it for me. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
kind of like yeah, like it is like it feels like Overwatch is all about gameplay because you can't
Hmm.
really be out there having fun because then you're gonna kind of get your ass whooped.
Well, and also, like, unless you're playing in a 5 stack and like having fun as a 5 stack, it's
Yes.
like, oh, well, you're just fucking throwing, you're making everyone's game a lot worse. And it's like, all right,
Hmm.
well, I
Nothing's
just
worse than a random tank. Nothing is worse than a random tank.
yeah, like I can't play Hammer Torb in a
Hmm.
comp game. I can't
Yeah.
play Hammer Torb in like just solo queue, because then I'm gonna get fucking reported and kicked, and I'm having a grand old time just like smashing people. But it doesn't matter
Yeah.
how bad you pop off. As soon as you, well, I guess not anymore, but what, 4 months ago, if you queued up as ball, people just
Hmm.
left the game, and I was like, no, you're
Bro, I
fucking
hate
throwing.
ball.
Or I can't stand ball. I
As
still I
support, I
still
hate
can't
ball
play.
on my team. I hate him as an opponent. Like I hate him. Period.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, even if ball isn't doing anything, it's still
Hmm.
just annoying just seeing him roll around.
Yeah. Not
Yeah.
tanking.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
just
why are you so fast?
yeah.
Not a
Um,
thing.
yeah, yeah. Oh, geez, Cammy's been wanting me to play DBD for so long.
Yes, you should
Uh,
play DVD.
I
You
can't
should play
I
DVD.
can't stream it, man. I get like 20 frames a second. Like, internet drops, and it gets so bad because I
Um,
stream on Wi-Fi.
I do
Um,
too.
yeah. Well, you're on console too, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I'm a console.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Which is interesting. You don't see a lot of console streamers.
because it's
Um,
rough.
it's rough out here for a console
Oh
streamer.
my, like the switching games. Like that's why I'll be on Dead by Daylight. Well, I enjoy Dead by Daylight, obviously at
Yeah,
this
yeah.
point, but like I probably wouldn't stream it for like 8-10 hours a day if I could like switch back and forth seamlessly. But like every time, it
Mhm.
has to be like a calculated switch, or just like this game is tanking. Let me get out of here. So like what I try to do is I'll try to switch around like 4.5, 5 hours because then you'll get the second but
The second what?
notification,
Oh,
like the
gotcha,
live
gotcha.
noti, because yeah, because the thing on console, like you to switch games, you have to start over your stream, but you start over your stream, they won't give you a notification. And if anybody misses you when you switch, then
Oh,
like they're just gonna think you ended.
I've noticed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that's do you have any plans to get PC, or are you gonna be console
I
gamer
mean I
for
want
life?
one, but it costs money.
Sure.
But
Yeah. No,
yeah,
absolutely. What's it? I
I kick
saved
ass
up
on
for
DVD. Ooh. Wait, who's Cammy's main?
uh, uh Cammy, what do you play? Was it I'm trying to think. I think she liked no, not Michaela.
Miss Frizzle?
Oh, no, no, no. She liked ah you always see their players with like the bunny ear
Oh,
uh
Feng Min.
Fangmen, yeah, because
Yeah.
she likes Fangmen's perk where you don't blow up the gen.
Technician. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay, 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 okay.
yeah. What's it? She likes technician, windows of
Mm-hmm.
opportunity,
Windows is great.
Dead Hard, which we've always been terrible at using Dead Hard. I hear Dead Hard got
It
nerfed
got
hard.
nerfed into oblivion. I love Dead Hard. That was
Really?
my go-to perk, and now I never use it
Yeah,
because it
yeah.
sucks now.
I've been hearing a lot of complaints about kind of the meta shift in DBD.
Yes, because okay,
Uh,
so what happened was they nerfed Circle of Healing. You can't heal yourself, and they also nerfed Dead Hard. Like you have to get on hook first before Dead Hard can even activate.
oh, that's
So
lame.
like you can only use Dead Hard twice now. And so, but that's not even the worst part because I've kind of learned to play without those. Like my looping has
Yeah,
gotten
yeah.
better. Like I've learned other exhaustion perks.
Hmm.
But the killers just tunnel and camp now, like ridiculous. Because there's
Yeah.
no Dead Hard. They feel comfortable doing that shit. That's what's annoying about the new
It's
meta.
yeah, and that's when you have a game like that. I mean, of course, it's a 4v1 game, right?
Hmm.
Um, so you would think, okay, well, the killer should probably have some advantages to a certain
Hmm.
extent, but it's such a fine balance.
Yeah.
Um, I'd honestly, I usually play killer, especially on
Hmm.
console. I can't play survivor on console.
Why not?
Dog shit.
Yeah,
Um, it has
you
something to
gotta
do
believe.
like I have an issue like running and looking behind me at the same
Hmm.
time. Um, so I think that is a huge issue. On
Hmm.
console, it was a lot easier to play survivor.
Okay.
Um, just because like I don't know, maybe just because I started like that and it was easier to actually run with.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, man, I remember that moment when you first start playing DBD and then you get like a really good chase and you're
Hmm.
looping, you're making all the right decisions, taking the right vaults at the right time, backtracking and all kinds of stuff. It's like, oh shit, I got it. I
Yeah,
got
it's a
I
great
I, I
feeling.
got it now. Yeah, it's a real satisfying game when you start really playing like I guess optimally. When you actually
Yeah,
start doing that optimal gameplay, you're like, no, this feels good.
and it's crazy because like I was really upset about the nerfs and stuff, but I feel like the nerfs are what allowed me to really like start playing
Really?
optimally because like Dead Hard is kind of a crutch.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to loop if you have Dead Hard,
Mhm.
but now I kind of had to learn how to loop
Right,
and
right,
use
right.
flashlights and all that stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, I liked, what's it? We were playing, uh,
Netflix Platinum.
quit after playing a few times because I couldn't get it down for a bit, and then it came back, and I
See,
was on fire. Yeah.
you just have to believe.
Yeah, if you believe, you can achieve.
Exactly. Come on now.
Um, yeah, and so with, their ranking structure in DBD is one that I honestly really don't like. Like everyone completely resets
Yeah,
on the
every
13th.
month. Hmm.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, it keeps it interesting because now I have
Yeah,
like a reason to grind every month. But
sure,
it is
sure.
annoying that everything you worked for kind of just vanishes into thin air at the end of the month.
Yeah, yeah, to a certain extent. One thing that I noticed when I was playing is like if I played at the for in a sense at the beginning of the reset, I
Uh huh.
noticed that like obviously, everyone is back on Ash 5 or whatever the lowest rank is.
Yeah. Hmm.
And like you just get fucking smoked.
Yeah.
Or if you try going on killer, you just get these crazy psychos
Bully
that
squads.
just sit there and bully you for 30 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um
Day one of the reset is crazy.
yeah. Yeah, so it's like I have if I wanted to if I wanted to actually play and get a higher rank, I either have
Hmm.
to I guess at the end of the day it's a game of variance. The more games you play, the higher likelihood you're going to I mean, it's almost impossible not to climb,
Yeah.
out of Ash and the first kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
few ranks.
Because yeah, you
Um,
get points for like basically like unhooking, like drone generators, things that progress the games, things that you're gonna have to do naturally. So
yeah, yeah, that's it. Tell them about the 45-minute game if you getting bullied.
what? I've been there. I've
Oh,
been there.
and of course I was playing Trapper too on that, so like
Ooh,
he's prime target for getting bullied.
Trap is
Um,
one of my least favorite.
see, I love playing Trapper so much, but he's just so
Mm.
bad. Like
Basement Trapper's fun.
that's the only way you can really play him.
Yeah.
Um, I Yeah, what's it? Doctor was always like my big favorite. I
Hmm.
I think, I like the simple killers. It's just simple M1, but then, the madness kind of effect that he
Yeah.
has.
Hmm.
I like that a lot. But oh yeah, these people were they had like everyone had these crazy flashlights. Probably they had like Built to Last on there too, of course. And Head On, fucking
Oh, those are
you
the
know,
worst type of gamers.
oh
The head-on
dude,
ones.
Head On, DS. They had fucking what's that one? So basically, if you fall on a pallet, they can like
Hmm.
drop the pallet on you. Um,
Oh, Power Struggle, Power Struggle.
yeah, it's like stuff like that, and like
I
they all
use that
had
a
kind
lot
of a
now.
different variants of it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna play a game with that kind of build, and I just get
Hmm.
smoked.
See, the thing is, when you need a team for that, because I use that a lot of
Yeah,
struggle
yeah,
build for like power,
hmm
and it's like if no one is around to take hits or distract the killer, it's
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
useless.
Yeah, I mean it's and God, they fucking broke my ankles every time I tried chasing them down, and it got to the point where I was just like, just get the damn gens done, and
Yeah, and leave, please.
none of them, yeah, just leave me alone.
Just want to go home.
Yeah, I just I want to take my traps and go home.
Thanks.
Do you play any killer that often?
I do. I actually started off as a killer main.
Hmm.
I think my last main as a killer main was the doctor too, so it's funny you said that. But now I'm a survivor main through and through. I'll mix in some killer. I've been
Yeah.
working on my bird lady lately.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Clown is also a lot of fun.
I hear clown's fun. He grosses me out just like
I
looking
get
at
that.
him. So
Hmm. I don't like killers who play pallet games. Like I used to like Wraith and the Pig Lady, but
Mhm.
they play pallet games. I don't like pallet games. I'm not trying to get
What's
looped.
what's
Pallet games
palette
are
games?
when survivors like loop you around a pallet
Mhm.
because I mean, but you can't loop Bird Lady or the Knight or
Oh yeah,
Clown
yeah.
or the Doctor because they
Mhm.
have shit that stops that, like the gas or the
Yeah, yeah.
birds or
Mhm.
shit like that. So yeah, I like killers that don't play pallet games.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on Ghostface?
So lately, people have been
Super
saying that
popular.
Ghostface is the weakest killer, like
Yeah.
statistically.
Uh-huh.
But he's annoying as hell. Like he's always creeping, watching
Yeah,
me.
I've noticed that like everyone says like, oh, Ghostface is underpowered, and he can't really be played at a high level. But
Hmm.
anytime I've faced a Ghostface, it's like
Really good.
they sneak up on me. I'm always marked for some reason. Like
Hmm.
they find these crazy stalking areas. I
He's
wish you
I
could.
never realized he can like literally like lean his head out and just peek. Like I.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and
That's
you get
creepy.
faster. You get faster stalking when you lean.
Mm. Oh,
Um,
for real?
Yeah, it goes like fucking twice as fast. But
Hmm.
I've seen like, in like, Shack, for example, they got like those boarded up windows. You can
Hmm.
stalk people through that window too.
No way. Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. So it's like that's just crazy. I think
Oh, that's crazy.
Myers can do that as well.
I was just about to
Uh,
say another one that people like say is really weak is Michael, but he does some
yeah.
crazy shit. Like Tombstone Myers is no joke.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean that should you should just call the cops on that. Like
Yeah,
that.
100%, 100%.
Yeah, that's yeah, DVD is it's a game that's aged well.
Yes,
Um
yes, 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 yes,
mhm. Yeah, it
for sure.
definitely it holds up for sure. Are there any games that you're excited about that you're looking forward to? You know, tis the
Um,
season.
there is, but
A lot of
honestly,
releases.
there is a lot of new releases. I haven't even played Hogwarts yet, and that's finally available for me. But
Yeah, yeah.
honestly, no, I'm kind of excited to just mix in more games. Like, there's a lot of games that I really enjoy that I haven't streamed too much of that I'm trying to mix in more. Like For Honor, I don't know if you've seen that. For Honor is a lot of
Yeah, yeah,
fun.
yeah, yeah.
I
It's
love For Honor.
I remember when For Honor first came out,
Hmm.
I was like, man, I don't have any console, no computer, nothing.
Hmm.
All I had was watching YouTube because
Ooh,
I didn't even know what Twitch was at the time.
yeah.
So I would watch people do like let's plays of the whole
Hmm.
campaign and stuff. And I was like, this shit's like a fucking movie. The whole
Bro,
idea of it was so cool. I loved it.
It's so amazing.
Hmm.
It's so amazing. Like yeah. I actually haven't played the campaign. I've only played the online, the multiplayer. I'm trying to play a lot more of that. I'm trying to get in more Fall Guys. I've always loved Fall Guys. And
Okay.
only now I actually get people to like pull up and watch Fall Guys. So I'm excited about
Yeah.
that. And Kart Rider is a lot of fun.
Kart Rider kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That was another community suggestion for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, you
And that's
what's
just a
it?
lot of fun.
Yeah, Rider's really cool because what's it? I've always wanted I've always loved like the Mario games, like Mario Party
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and Mario Kart and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So having Kart Riders there is a good kind of knockoff.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah. And it's
Mario
cross
Kart.
platform. Like you could literally pull up on mobile and play with me on
Hmm.
console or PC. Like it's
Oh shit, do they get it on mobile too?
hmm
Oh, that's wild. Yeah, I didn't know they
before
had
Kart Rider,
mobile.
Among Us was the only game I knew that did stuff like that. But yeah, it's
Hmm.
fully, fully,
Yeah,
fully cross platform.
yeah. Games are getting crazy with that now. Like I remember, like old school Call of Duty, if
Mm-hmm.
you or Halo, right? You had a bunch of
Like
games that were yeah, you had a bunch of games that were like console or platform specific,
mm-hmm.
and then I'm not exactly sure when they started doing cross platform. I don't know, 2013, 2014, something like that. Um,
Fortnite changed the game. I feel like Fortnite had a lot to do
Fortnite,
with all of that.
sure, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm.
But
Yeah, yeah, because that was one of the first games where you can be on PC and play with people on console at the
mhm.
same time.
And Fortnite was one of the first
Overwatch
ones.
did that too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Fortnite was the first one of the first ones to do like that. Just like you get the game once and they just constantly update it. And now like most games are like that now.
Hmm. Yeah, kind of what's it? Well, a lot of games are going to that free to play model as well,
Yeah. hmm
um, which is interesting. That's I've always kind of been in the MMO RPG space to a
hmm
certain extent, and that was always a big point of contention where it's like, well, you could pay the $60 for World of Warcraft
hmm
and then pay the 12.99 subscription on top of that game, but
hmm
but you get the whole game. Or you could go to like something like RuneScape, which is, it's free to play, but you only get a quarter of the entire stuff to do. And if you
Yeah.
pay the 7.99 subscription, you get everything else. And now it just seems like the free to play games are working on just like trying to sell you skins and
Yeah, because
coins
people will
and
pay for
keys,
nothing.
dude. Well, we saw that
People will pay for nothing.
with Diablo,
hmm
right? I remember I was watching some video. One of the things I've been doing on some of my streams is I'll be watching YouTube and kind
hmm
of pulling up videos and stuff, and people jump
hmm
in and interact with the video. We'll talk about it.
Uh-huh.
And one of the things I saw was what's it called? Um, okay, well, come get the shorts if they're in the office. uh, um, what was it? Yeah, some people will sit there and fuck, I lost my spot. Oh, free to play games. There's this one guy where he spent like $50,000 on. I shit you not. You want to talk about like the whales of those kind of games there? This dude spent like
hmm
$50,000 on Diablo, whatever. Not the new one that just came out, but like before,
hmm
to get like all of the immortal skins and packs and level boost and special damages, 5-star, whatever. Like he just had the whole
Wow.
fucking kit, and he was
That's
throwing a
commitment.
massive fit because he couldn't do like the battlegrounds with his clan, who also spends thousands of dollars on their characters. And there's always that idea of like, gamers don't necessarily like the whales in a lot of these games.
Yeah, no.
um
It's whack.
but it definitely feels it definitely feels whack.
Yeah.
All right, give me 1 second. We're just gonna pop the camera off real quick. Cool.
Well, let me turn my light on.
Well, then I don't. Are they even in here?
Okay.
All right. Um, Yeah, people don't necessarily like the whales and stuff,
Mhm.
but if at the same point, if you're spending $50,000 on a game, like
Yeah.
if I spend $50,000 on the game,
Mhm.
I'm playing Battlegrounds. I better have access to
For
every
everything.
aspect of the game.
Yeah.
So, you know, I
Basically an investor at that point.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I should have a portion of stock at
Yeah.
that point. But Blizzard keeps getting themselves in fucking hot water though, with a lot of that stuff. It seems like they're never in a situation where they're not having issues. Um, what's it? Do you
Blizzard. I'm
do?
trying. My only Blizzard experience really is Overwatch.
Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah. You never got into like a Diablo or anything like that?
no, I have not.
Yeah.
Growing up, there was this really weird dude who used to play Diablo all the time. So I never played it because I didn't want to end up like him.
Damn, that's all it takes.
Yeah, there was one guy.
That guy's a fucking weirdo.
Mm. But I mean, I know a lot of people are into it now. Like a lot of people
Mhm.
in my community, like are grinding Diablo right now, trying to make it to 100.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
apparently there's a competition, first 1,000 to make it, get something or something. I
Oh,
don't know.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Broke out PTSD. um, what about like Major League Gaming? Like I know
Esports?
yeah, like esports and stuff. What do you hang out in any of those kind of communities or follow anything?
No, I'm nowhere near enough
No.
good at video games for that type of stuff.
Yeah,
No,
you
no,
like the
no.
actual sports.
Yeah, I do like actual sports. I think maybe one time at Multiverses, I was like top 100, and that's probably the
Oh,
best I've
no
ever been in a
shit.
video game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but that was a long time ago. I'm ass now. I
Yeah.
tried playing it the other day, and I got worked by randoms. I was like, all
Yeah,
right.
I feel I was on there a little bit the other day, and
Mhm.
it seemed like everyone I was fighting was like bots.
But really? Well, I mean, well,
Yeah.
it is ending soon. It is ending soon. They're shutting
Okay,
it down on the
gotcha.
25th.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess that makes sense. They just want to make sure you get a game.
Yeah,
Um,
like I definitely want to stream it again before it goes away for the next 6 months
mhm.
because I'm gonna miss a lot of things, a lot of good
Yeah.
memories.
My,
Ooh, I
my
gotta charge my phone.
yeah. My issue with those games is I can never actually keep track of my character.
Because so
Like
fast paced.
I lose myself all the damn time.
Okay.
You know.
That's understandable. But I
Yeah.
played a lot of Smash Bros. Growing up, so I'm
Mhm.
kind of used to it. I really enjoyed Smash Bros. That was one of my favorite games.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Give me 1 second. Make sure. Look at something real quick. All right. So in this whole experience of you streaming and stuff, um, are there any in particular lessons that you've learned? Or like advice that you would give yourself when you first started streaming?
Um, huh, advice I would give myself
Yeah, yeah.
if I can go
Or
back.
or even a friend of yours, like if a friend of yours said, "Hey, I'm trying to start streaming. What should I do? What kind of process should I start off with? What things should I think about?"
Well, number one, I would say is be consistent
Hmm.
because that's how I think people find you. So if they know when to expect, not even when to expect you, but just know like this person will probably be on like today or something.
Hmm.
Because I don't even
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
schedule, but like I stream most days, so people know like they'll most likely catch me around midday. Another thing, try different games. Don't pigeonhole yourself into a specific game
Hmm.
because like you never know what's gonna hit, you never know what's gonna work for you. You know.
For sure.
So yeah, those would be the two biggest things. Networking is almost
Huge.
equally as important as streaming. Like you got to go out there
Yeah.
and talk to people, meet people,
Hmm.
because no one knows you. Like they're not just gonna pop up on your stream for no reason. I mean,
Right.
they might, but that's not. You don't want to rely on that.
Yeah. Well, and like even if they do,
Hmm.
I think one of the big things about your stream is that whenever you pop in, there's
Hmm.
already people there and they're already kind of talking and chatting, and it makes a new viewer feel comfortable
Hmm.
hopping in on the conversation and stuff. If you don't network and kind of be a part of other communities,
Hmm.
whenever someone does find you, it's gonna be like, okay, well, it's just kind of it's just kind of you hanging out by yourself, and it's
Yeah.
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 I think that's super important. There's a big thing where it's like, streamers will try network and they'll do like follow for follow kind of
I
stuff.
hate follow for follow.
Talking about like ROI, it's like definitely a net zero at most.
Yeah, like it'll get you follows and no views. That will never get you views.
Hmm.
Follow for follow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's it? I know. Uh, that's like that add me on Snap. Yeah, add me on Snapchat. No one, no one. Yeah, it's
Pisses me off. Yeah, it's dumb.
for
Not a
sure.
fan.
Yeah, yeah. Add me on Snapchat. That's hilarious. I don't think anyone even anyone who's trying to do content creation. I don't know anyone who actually does anything on Snapchat now. It's
That's
just
not.
like it's just for like you and your friends at this point. You know.
I literally know one person who uses
Hmm.
Snap. They actually have a pretty
Right.
decent sized channel too, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely unusual.
Yeah.
It's
Um,
shady.
have you done any research on you said you want to work on social media and stuff. Have you done any research on the kind of like what to do and any specific you
That would
know
make sense, right?
strategies that you've learned and looking at that?
No, I honestly haven't done that. I should. I really should. But I know people who like TikTok is their main platform that they try to promote themselves and grow on. And I'm
Hmm.
kind of just gonna basically just try and follow their lead.
For
Kind of
sure.
haven't done my own research. I probably should do my own research, but
Yeah. Yeah,
you
find almost like a mentor or something.
yeah, no, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, that's a social media is just such a weird thing. Like to my soul, it's like I don't want to do
Hmm.
that. I don't want to do this shit.
Yeah, because
But
it's like how we were raised. Like, don't talk to strangers on the internet. And now, like, we're supposed to just only talk to strangers on the
right,
internet.
yeah. Yeah, I think as far as return on your investment for social media activity, I think
Hmm.
statistically it's looking like uh I think TikTok is probably the most useful as far as kind of getting noticed. After
Yeah,
that, I'd say it's more than likely probably Twitter. Twitter's always going to be a powerhouse in the sense of
I forgot about Twitter.
yeah, oh yeah, because it's there's nothing on there but people complaining about shit.
Yeah, all right,
It's
and yeah, that's why I
but
hate social media in the first place.
yeah, yeah. What's it? And the thing with social media, it's like its own game. It's like a
Hmm.
whole meta game of oh hey
Oh, kitty.
yeah yeah. This
Aw.
is this is the stinky butt. Hey, say hi.
What's up, cat?
Oh,
Aw.
yeah, she's a sweetheart. Um, yeah, doing social media is like its own meta game in a sense where
Hmm.
you're always playing by um, whatever the rules are on the platform, and
Hmm.
they change so often that you're constantly having to switch your strategies and pay attention to what works, what doesn't. You know,
Hmm.
uh, but I think at this point, you know, as long as, like you said, consistency is probably the biggest thing. Where as long as you're still putting out content on as many platforms as you can, make
Yeah,
it a whole another full time job if you're looking to do that.
honestly.
Definitely doable. I mean, fuck it. The stuff that goes viral now is just so crazy to me. That's it.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine who he's a Call of Duty streamer, and
Hmm.
one of his he makes clips too. I think he posted on TikTok and went super viral, and it took his average viewership from about 5 to about like 25.
Oh,
You know,
beautiful. Yeah, and
right?
like
Yeah,
just one TikTok can do that.
one TikTok.
Crazy. Absolutely nuts.
Um,
Um, yeah, I think at most for social media, I probably use Instagram the most, but
Okay.
the reach on Instagram isn't like it used to be. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's what I've
like,
heard.
fuck. It took me so long to even download TikTok, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll do
I
that.
didn't download it. My phone just automatically keeps putting it, on my dashboard. I don't have a choice.
Yeah, it's they're really forcing it down your throat at that point.
Yeah, it's insane.
But
Like they
yeah.
made my profile for me and everything. It's just it's stupid.
Well, I'm excited to see what you do as far as posting TikTok videos and stuff. I guess most of your content is DVD related. So
Yeah,
do you have any ideas on what kind of content you'd be posting? Just like funny clips from stream that are
I,
clipped, or
I get yeah,
you
honestly.
know,
And it's funny you said most of my content is DVD, but I go through my clips and like more than half of them are multiverses. Like that's most of my clips
really?
are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I completely missed your multiverses arc.
it was a wild, aggressive, violent time. It was a lot of shit talking, a lot of arguing.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you're always shit talking anyway,
Yeah,
and,
so,
and half of it's because your chat's shit talking you.
bro, constantly in my ear, literally like nonstop, just like LMK in my ear, like the whole stream.
uh, yeah, no, that's good stuff. Um, let's see, we got Dyro's in. What's up, Dyro? How you doing, buddy? Salty or spicy? Yeah, Twitter is a lunch special. That's the best way to describe it. You never know what you're gonna get.
Spicy,
Yeah.
definitely spicy.
um, yeah, it's hard. I don't really get Twitter in general because like I don't know why I see half the shit I see.
Hmm.
It just
Yeah,
it throws the randomest crap at me, and I'm like, I have no idea
or
what's going
interest in
on. Yeah,
it.
right. Um, but yeah, I think that's been a good kind of spotlight on who MK is. I've really enjoyed kind of getting to know you here.
This is fun.
Yeah, man. Um, what's it? What about one thing I want to talk to you? Do you plan on?
WCAT.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's always got to be center of attention. Um,
My bad.
get your ass out of here. Yeah, I constantly have to like shield her ass from being on the screen. I don't want to get TOS. um, but do you do any content with like other streamers? Do you do any like collabs or anything like that?
I've had a couple people ask me about that. I honestly haven't
Hmm.
because I haven't seen it. Well, I've seen other people do it, and I honestly haven't really seen it be beneficial to more than one person at a time.
Hmm.
Like normally, one
Interesting.
streamer will just like monopolize the whole thing. Like they'll get all the views, they'll get all the attention,
Sure, sure.
and I don't want to either do that to somebody or have that happen to me. So I haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've been thinking about it because it would be fun. It would be fun.
Yeah, I think if you find like think about that, because at the end of the day, it's a production, right?
Hmm.
You're doing it with a purpose. Some personalities are bigger than others.
Hmm.
Um, and I think if you find like the right group to actually do stuff with,
Yeah.
everyone can have their own stream doing their own stuff,
Yeah.
uh, and still kind of have that balance between interacting with the game and creating good content, as
Hmm.
well as being able to. I think the mute button is huge for that.
Yeah.
Mute the group chat so you could still hang out with your chat.
Hmm.
I think
Yeah.
that's something that you know.
That's a big concern of mine. The voice chat too, because I've noticed
Hmm.
from a while ago, like when I have like when I used to have my voice chat like in the stream where you can hear what other people are saying, like it usually didn't go over well.
No.
Either because like I would be getting drowned out, or just like people yelling and screaming, or like saying probably shit
Hmm.
they shouldn't be saying. Like there's always something
Right. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that. So that's why I keep the Discord in my ear now,
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
not trying to
And
get
like
reported or canceled.
Right. Well, yeah. At the end of the day, that's the fine line we're all
Yeah,
playing with.
yeah. And if someone's streaming, they have to constantly be talking, and that's like another thing that I'm like concerned about when it comes to like networking and like doing a collab with someone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think what's it? One game that that my kind of group does is we'll do what we call community nights every once in a while, where
Mm,
we'll play like Jackbox or like Among Us, and
oh,
we'll all
interesting.
hop on a call, but we have like specific rules that we all kind of acknowledge and follow when it comes
Hmm.
to because like most of us are streamers, so we
Hmm.
know, yeah, have fun, do what you want, uh just don't TOS yourself or all of us, because we're
Yeah,
all putting ourselves in the same kind of boat at that point.
yeah.
So I think having those like ground rules laid out really
Hmm.
helps out with stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, and we always want to make sure that because we're all streaming at the same time, we're all kind of working on this thing together. It's a whole production that we're working on together.
Yeah.
We keep in mind that we don't want to take up too much space. We want to make sure everyone has a chance to get
Yeah.
some
Makes sense.
screen
Makes sense.
time. And it's difficult to do that with when you're hopping on with people from your community and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, so I think from a viewer's perspective, it's always nice
Hmm.
hearing what goes on the Discord call and be in on all
Yeah.
the jokes and stuff like that. But until until those kind of rules are I guess outlined specifically, and there's that
Hmm.
level of trust and respect for everyone.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it can be a difficult thing for sure.
It probably isn't so bad too if you only have like one or two other people. Like
Hmm.
the game probably matters as well. Yeah, I've seen this
Yes,
game. I've seen
some
some people play.
games.
It Takes Two. That would be like a fun collab type of game.
Ooh,
Like a co-op game would be cool, as opposed to like one of
yeah,
these
yeah, yeah,
random
yeah.
community games.
Hmm. Yeah. I can't think of the game it's right now, but I've definitely heard of it, and I know I've seen some clips of it. What's it? We
Mm-hmm.
just started talking about that game, Pico Park. I don't know if you've seen that.
No,
It's
what
like
is
a
it?
puzzle game where you're all these little kind of like bear looking guys, right? And
Mm-hmm.
if there's seven people in the lobby, then there's seven people in the lobby. But you have to like all work together and
Mm-hmm.
trying to get seven people to do one task is impossible.
Oh
But
yeah.
you're supposed to like you gotta like push a box over here so you can hop on to get a
Mm-hmm.
key, and then once you get the key, you gotta hop back down and unlock the door, basically, something like that. But it takes seven people to actually push all at the same time. So if there's only six people
Um,
pushing, the box ain't gonna move. In the box, you have to like stack on top of each other to actually get the key, and only one person can have the key at the same time. So it's like a lot of coordination.
mm-hmm.
Um,
That
but
seems like it'd be fun to stream because it sounds
yeah,
chaotic.
we're excited for that. It's gonna happen at some point. I think maybe this Wednesday, possibly.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Okay.
but yeah, we'll all hop on, and we've seen some clips for it. We've all talked about it. I think it'll be a decent game to stream. Um, I've always loved Among Us. That's always been one of my favorite games. Or like, have you ever
Yeah.
seen a Town of Salem?
No, I haven't.
It's kind of like that same concept of Among Us, where everyone in the town has a role. Some
Mm-hmm.
people are townspeople. Some people are like like the
Someone's a
mafia.
witch.
Yeah, someone's a witch. Someone's mafia. There's like a serial killer. There's a jester,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. So everyone's got their own individual win conditions.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh,
it's
that's interesting.
yeah, I definitely suggest checking out that. That could actually be a fun
Town
stream
of
game,
Salem.
I think.
I've
And
never even
they
heard
got
of
like
it.
a
That sounds cool.
yeah, yeah, it's like you can have one person a werewolf, where if it's a full moon, then they get a special ability where they go kill one of the townspeople or whoever. And the townspeople are just trying to track down who's the bad guys and who's actually, a
So the
townsperson.
werewolf and the witch aren't the bad guys?
Uh, as far as I know, yeah. Well, there's like 20 some odd roles. So you got like
Mm,
the jailer, the mayor who gets like extra votes. There's there's like a veteran. So if someone tries killing you and you're on alert, then you actually shoot them before they get to do what they do. And then whenever someone dies, it reveals their role. So you could be like, okay, so we got the serial killer and
Hmm.
the mafia, the mafia guy, right? And the
Okay.
mafia guy, he has like two other people where you got like the cleaner who the mafia kills someone and the cleaner visits that person at the same night. Then no body's found. No one knows who that person's role was. It's a lot of deception and kind of intrigue, something like that. It's like Among Us, but a little extra.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I think that'd probably be a fun game. Your community would love that one. I think
Yeah, that
they're
sounds fun.
yeah. Um, but yeah, I think that gives us a good kind of overview of what's going on with you and everything like that. Is there anything you wanted to mention? Give yourself a shout out. Any projects upcoming?
Uh, I wish. No, I'm
Yeah.
just honestly just looking for more games to integrate, trying to switch it up a little bit more.
Hmm.
Trying to like we were talking about earlier, trying to get people used to like more of a variety feel
Yeah. Yeah.
without, forsaking DVD.
Right.
But yeah, no, this was cool. You definitely gave me a new game to think about. Time to Salem. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That
Yeah. I
sounds like a
definitely
lot of fun.
watch some videos on it. It's cool stuff.
It's
Um,
cross-platform.
yeah.
Ooh.
Well, actually, now that I think about it, it might be PC only.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you might be a little screwed on that one.
That's crazy.
Um,
Well,
yeah, eventually you'll get a PC at
eventually,
some point,
that's
or
the
or
goal.
or even like
That's
a
the goal.
gaming laptop,
Yeah, I
honestly.
honestly think that might be what happens first.
Yeah,
At least like a capture card or something. Like
right. Yeah, I think
that's cool.
yeah, a laptop should be, it'll be cheaper than getting a full-on PC, but you'll still
Mhm.
have the amount of power and resources to, you know, kind of find some other games that you would be interested in that would still work. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And then it opens up so many things. Having a second monitor is always nice.
yeah,
Um,
for sure, for
but
sure. But it's just my
but
laptop now sucks.
mm,
So
yeah, we
yeah,
got
it's
a
terrible.
we got a guy that we play with, and his laptop. It sounds like it's taken off from an airport every once in a while. The fan just goes so
I'm weak.
loud.
That's my
uh,
PlayStation all the time.
yeah.
It's insane.
but but yeah, if you want to just sign off and let everyone know where they can find you, what's going on,
Yep.
who you
And it's
is.
MK Ultra, two H's at the end. Small time DVD streamer slash variety streamer. Feel free to hop in, check out my channel, check out my peoples. We have a whole dope group community of people, like dope people, dope streamers, dope friends. Like, everyone is welcome to pull up and join us. Thank you, Vega, for having me. You're a
Dude,
dope streamer,
any
dope
time at
person
all.
yourself.
Yeah,
This was
no.
fun.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on. I
No
don't do
problem.
the
No
don't do the
problem.
podcast too often, but when
Thanks
I
for
do,
having me.
I like to showcase cool people having nice chill conversations.
I appreciate
Definitely,
that.
I super suggest anyone coming in and hanging out in your chat, getting to know you and everyone there. You're definitely going to be welcomed. I mean,
You're good at this shit too.
what
You're like, I was kind of nervous about this, but you made it mad comfortable and mad like inviting
good?
and shit.
Oh man, that makes me so happy.
You're really, really good at this shit.
Yeah. Well, I learned that I can't just monologue and do a podcast by myself. I need to
Mhm.
actually sit here and talk to someone, because it's just so bad when I had the episodes early on where I'm just like, yeah, well, here's my day, and it's so stupid.
Nah,
But
but this is cool. You
yeah.
gotta drop the link for your YouTube too in the Discord
Oh,
so we
sure,
can
sure,
follow
yeah.
that, see the things.
Yeah, we got yeah, I'm gonna start uploading the actual VODs up there. But all I
Okay, okay,
have right
okay.
now is a few Overwatch videos and some other stuff. But yeah, for sure. I'll drop
Okay.
that in the Discord and we'll
Cool,
we'll
cool,
see
cool.
if we can get some stuff going. But
Um,
thank you again. Always
no
always
problem, no
good
problem.
talking with you. You were absolutely welcome on anytime. You're a
Same
real
here,
cool
same
dude,
here.
man. So
Thank you,
we'll
appreciate it.
we'll see you when we see you.
Later, my guy. Thanks for
See ya.
having me.
Yep. Problem, buddy.